There is an open debate in the tennis world about the greatest season in tennis history. Many say it was during prime Rogers' era in 2006 or 2007. Some say it's Djokovic's 2011 season, but little significance is given to the greatest comeback season of all time. A comeback season is when a player or team return to their sport after a period away. In this video, we'll be talking about the greatest comeback season in the history of tennis. The biggest shock of 2012 was Rafa Nadal's round 2 exit from the Wimbledon, which was followed by his 7 months gap from the tour. The problem in the knee started early in the year when he was seen playing with strapping on his knees at the Australian Open. He withdrew from Miami Open semi-final as well as the Hardcourt season, taking its toll on his weak spot once again.
It was not a decision because the knee talks for himself, and I really don't feel well.
In June, Rafa saw him chosen by the Spanish Sports Federation as the flag bearer of Spain. But in July he announced that he won't be playing the Olympics due to the knee injury. This was followed by a series of withdrawals from upcoming tournaments, and eventually he missed the rest of the year, making Wimbledon round 2 match as his last match of the year. Rafa decided to come back to the tour and start the 2013 season in Doha, and followed by the first major of the year, Australian Open. But things went south, and he withdrew from both the tournaments due to the stomach virus. Finally, in February Rafa entered his first tournament after a gap of 7 long months. During the tournament he made it clear that he is still experiencing discomfort in the knee and said he isn't focused on winning, but simply playing at an acceptable level. He played doubles with his friend Pico Monaco and singles too. Rafa made a winning start but ultimately lost to Argentinian Horacio Zeballos in the final. He then went to Brazil to play his second tournament, where he defeated 3 Argentinians on the trot to the title. He beat David Nalbandian in the final. And with that won his first title since winning the French Open in 2012. Rafa then traveled to Mexico to play in Acapulco Open, a title he won way back in 2005. He again beat 3 Argentinian players on the trot in round 1, round 2 and quarterfinal, taking his tally to 6 straight wins over Argentinian players in last 6 matches. Rafa defeated compatriot Almagro in the semi-final and played one of the most one-sided final in tournament's history when he beat David Federer in the final, who was the 3 times defending champion at the tournament. The commentator even said that Rafa is bullying Federer at the moment.
And right from the get-go, Kevin, you see Nadal bullying Federer all over the court.
Having won all those matches in South America and coming to the Hardcourt event, Rafa was full of confidence. He started his Hardcourt campaign in Indian Wells Masters by defeating American Ryan Harrison. Followed by a tough match against Ernest Gulbis of Latvia. His quarter-final opponent was Roger Federer, a real test for him to know where he stands after the comeback, but Rafa played some unreal tennis and won the match easily. He faced Czech Republic's Tomáš Berdych in the semi-final and won it in straight sets. In the final match, Rafa was trailing by a set and a break, but somehow, as only he can, managed to clinch the second set, and an early break in the final set saw Rafa winning his 3rd Indian Wells Masters title. He laid down a marker at Indian Wells that he's not finished and there's more to come. After winning the Indian Wells Masters, he went to get some precautionary treatment as per the instructions of his doctor and missed the Miami Open. His return on the European clay swing didn't go well as he'd like to. He lost in the final of one of his favorite tournament, Monte Carlo, of which he was the 8 times defending champion. But again, the way that Rafa responded off the back of that, it just says a lot about the heart and character of Rafa.
Well, always a lose is a lose, and after all the success that I had here during all my career, someday must arrive that day, and I lost today against a big champion like Novak. He played amazing, so just congratulations to him, and I am very happy.
He won back-to-back titles in Barcelona, Madrid and Rome, and was the clear favorite to win his 8th French Open final. The semi-final of the French Open 2013 is hailed as one of the greatest clay court match ever. It defined the year and who's gonna be the number one at the end of the year. Rafa turning that match around in the 5th set after being 4-2 down changed the whole dimension of 2013 for both the players. There were lots of twists and turns in it. The character of Rafa to never ever give up till that last ball is finished won him that match. In the final, Rafa defeated his compatriot David Federer to capture his 8th Roland Garros title and a winning streak which was already remarkable. He took it to an added dimension of brilliance. 15 days after securing his 8th French Open title, Rafa traveled to London to play in the Wimbledon, where he played the last match of his 2012 season. Rafa has always been vulnerable on grass when he's fit, let alone when he's injured. He didn't play any follow-up tournament before the championships, which saw him exiting from the first round at a major for the very first time in his career. After that incredible run through the season, at some point he's only human. Many people thought that his best tennis is over for the season, and he'll be very disappointed after that loss in Wimbledon and will find it difficult to pick himself back up again. But there's so many deep levels tennis greats like him dig into to find their best tennis again. With all the motivation, he traveled to North America for the USA swing. He not only won the Montreal Masters, he also triumphed in Cincinnati. It was the first time he won back-to-back Hardcourt Masters 1000 title in USA. That gave him big confidence going into the last Grand Slam of the year, the US Open. Going into the US Open, Rafa was the favorite as he won the US Master Series. He was on a mission to win another major title, so 13 in 2013 was possible. After defeating Richard Gasquet in straight sets in the semi-final, Rafa faced an in-form Djokovic in the final. This was Djokovic's 4th straight US Open final, and he had beaten Rafa previously in 2011. The final had it all. Rafa took the first set, Novak bounced back in the second to level the match. Things were going south for Rafa as he was down an early break in the 3rd set but managed to break Novak's serve, but he was down love 40 in the 9th game, but somehow, only as he can, hold his serve and in the next game broke Djokovic's serve to take the set. Djokovic had 2 chances to break Rafa's serve early in the 4th set, but he couldn't grab it, but Rafa did break his serve twice and took the set 6-1, thus capturing his 2nd major of the year and his 13th overall. The year was already a successful year, having won 2 out of 3 Grand Slams he played. But there was one more thing Rafa had his eyes on. The top position in the men's tennis. The world #1 ranking. In October 2013, he was ranked the #1 player in the world after 2 years when he reached the final of the China Open. And by reaching the final of the World Tour Finals, he sealed his year-end #1 position for the first time since 2010. 2013 for Rafa Nadal blew the whole tennis world apart. For someone to be out for half a year, to hit the tour and just keep running, and then go into a sprint and win 2 out of 3 Grand Slams, 10 titles in total, it's not normal, it's extraordinary. It was the greatest comeback season of all time.
It's a dream come true when I see the results that I'm having after the injury. I never expected a season like this. My goal when I came back was just try to finish the season. So happy about how the things are going.